Welcome back to another episode of She Tea. Yeah, so I am always getting this question: how do I get thick locks? How did my locks get so thick? What do I use? What do I do? And a lot of people I know a lot of lock individuals get this question. Some say genetics, some say it's natural, and I kind of can say it's a little bit both at the same time, and it's also how you care for your locks. Now, when I started my lock journey, my locks were not this thick. You can even look at my ends and see like my ends are significantly smaller than the roots and base or further up my lock shaft. And that is because I didn't start off with super thick locks. I start off with medium average size locks, and I decided, you know what, I need to take a break. It wasn't even my intention to thicken them. I had semi-thick hair going in. My hair wasn't the thickest, it wasn't the longest, it wasn't the most of anything. It was just, a good head of natural hair. So I ended up taking a year off from retwisting my hair. And a lot of people are like, why did you take that year off? Because I had a thinning issue, because I would always do the, when we retwist the root to make our hair look neat, like if there's something happening or we're going somewhere. So we only retwist the root and maybe the second row, and that gives you that neat look. And my hair started to thin at the front. I have a previous video where I talked about it, but not in detail. My hair started to thin at the front, and I'm like, oh no, this is not a look that we want. No. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a break. I'm not gonna retwist for a minute, and I'm gonna, hopefully that gave my edges time to bounce back and catch itself. Thankfully it did. My roots flourished, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go a whole damn year. Yep, did not have any idea what I signed up for, but I'm like, you know what, if I could go 4 months with a retwist, I could go the rest of the year. I did. It wasn't a nightmare, but it was hard as hell. It was hard because my mindset then was neat, pretty locks, neat, pretty, fixed style locks. So when I started to have, oh wow. But after a couple months into I started to embrace it, and I was like, this is actually kind of cute. Now, to say what actually caused my locks to thicken, and this is my personal experience, I can honestly say water, one. Because I didn't have the ability to retwist my hair, or I wasn't retwisting my hair, I had to fix it somehow. So I would always wet my hair, get my spray bottle, and I missed my locks a lot. And I always did that like when I was going out or something like that, because I wanted to look cute, so I would miss my locks, and then my locks would just fall, like they would fall, become a little bit heavy. I wouldn't mist it till it's damp, but mist it enough. And that helped me as well, because it gave me a look, so I found myself misting my hair on a regular basis. Like, probably depends. Sometimes I went to work with it loose and out, and when I wanted to style it, do something cute with it, I would mist it. So I found myself misting it like probably 4 to 5 times a week, honestly. I would miss it if I'm not going anywhere, but when I decide I'm going to leave the house, and that causes the lock to swell. Like, it's hair. Hair is life. Hair has life. Hair moves, and when water touches hair, it does expand. So with the constant misting, that helps my hair to expand. So especially growing out, especially with the growing locks, the ones that are just growing in from the root, especially those, they started expanding. Second thing I did is absolutely no palm rolling. On top of not retwisting, the root. Like I said, I did not palm roll or prune. I let palm roll, which is this. This basically settles that wild fuzzy hair that it's on the lock shaft. I did not do that at all. I let the little fuzzies fuzz, and I know that's like a thing for a lot of people. It used to be a thing for me, but I outgrew that. And you can see I have fuzzies going on like right now. See that? That does not bother me in the least, because these fuzzies actually add volume to your hair. Like if I was to prune it, and carry it down and make it to my lock, it would actually become smaller. So the more fuzzies I had, I realized, like, look, those fuzzies, all of these fuzzies add thickness to my locks. They really did. They really did. So I'm like, embrace the fuzz. That's one of those things that actually help plumpen your locks as well. The whole fuzzies, the pruning, palm rolling. Because when you're palm rolling, you're also pressing the lock down, making it finer and smaller and neat, especially if you're doing it with a wet hand or product, so you're just like, Nah, I let these fuzz, I let the fuzz reign. I let my hair I have live hair. I don't know if that's a term, you guys. Here in the Bahamas, we call it live hairs. Live hair is hair that is not easily managed. When fixed, it like, you would comb our hair and then it springs right back up. You would have to like use something heavy and paste or something to get it to lie down. We call it live hair. Live hair. We call it live hair. So I always had live hair. So I just started embracing live hair, and stopped trying to fight against it. And let it be. I just let it be. I have this before and after photo of exactly a year from when I last did a self retwist, to a year into without retwisting my hair, and the difference is like mind blowing. I kid you not, guys. This is exactly 1 year of no retwists. And before I knew it, I would lift up one lock and there's like a whole attachment. 2 locks came up at the root. And I was like, how do I feel about this? Then I was like, yeah. I let a lot of them combine. And before I know it, I had like this much. I don't even have that going on anymore because I kind of fixed them now, but I had like this much new growth of root, 1 lock, and then I had the fingers. People call them fingers, they call them legs. A lot of people with locks don't like that. But again, like I said, if you want thicker locks, this is right up your alley. You will not run from fingers, you will not run from legs. So when I see the videos where people talking about the dangers of freeforming or semi-freeforming, semi-freeforming should be done with the intent to thicken your locks. If you want to keep small, finer locks, I do not recommend semi-freeforming your locks at all. Honestly, I do not, because your locks will thicken. They will start to combine. And even if you don't want some of your locks to combine, you can always do the separation mode, the hand water separation mode, where I would just wet my hair and go through each section, each lock, and manually separate them. The water is going to help with the, look at this, I just retwisted this on in December. Anyway, part of the journey. And you would manually separate. The water is going to help with the discomfort. It's going to be a little bit uncomfortable, especially if you have not separated in a while. I would recommend separating every 2 weeks. And like I said, you saw from the pictures, I didn't start off with thick locks when they were installed. I had 2 strand twists. They were shrivelly, they were small, and my locks basically looked the same way up until I decided to quit the retwisting, water it, stop pruning, and stop freeforming, and start freeforming. Warning: if you're already in your lock journey and you do have thinning hair, understand that if you want thicker locks and you're planning to combine, you will lose lock count. yes, you will lose some lock count. I lost lock count, but for thinning here, it's gonna be more significant. Because if you already have a low lock count and they're small, combining them, you will tend to have less, significantly less. You may go from naturally having 75 small locks to like 40 something thicker locks. So if you're prepared for that, be prepared. Now this is with the combining method. Sometimes if you have thin locks, those combining them can help the lock actually not fall out, because with those thin locks, the longer your hair gets, the more susceptible it is to falling out because of the weight. So you might have to sacrifice volume. Actually, you won't lose volume. You may just have to sacrifice amount. You will have less locks, but they will be thick and gorgeous. Like I said, be sure to separate. Unless you want numerous locks combined, separate those. Separate. All right. That is my little how-to on how I attained my thick locks. It wasn't just genetics. It wasn't, I was born with it like L'Oreal. You know, it was actually hard work. And I say hard work because hard work was me dealing with my hairs, is not forcing it, not manipulating it, just letting it be. All right, boos. All right, babies. Thank you for tuning in. Guys, stay safe. Peace, love, namaste. Love you, love you, love you, love you. Bye.
Nobody wanna lose in the sample. I don't know about you, but I ain't into it. I keep a straight face and hold a tempo, but it's a blessing, I'm just doing